Many co-teaching pairs struggle with a recurring problem. One teacher does the heavy lifting, while the other stands by, essentially waiting for a task. This imbalance often starts when educators are introduced to the 5 standard co-teaching models: lead and support, station, parallel, alternative, and team teaching. Administrators frequently present these 5 options as a menu of choices, but rarely provide the specific criteria needed to decide which one fits a specific classroom. Without guidance, new pairings often attempt the most complex models on day 1. When the coordination fails, teachers frequently conclude that co-teaching itself is the problem. Forcing an advanced instructional strategy before the partnership is ready creates constant logistical friction, leaving both teachers exhausted by mid-semester. These 5 models function as a developmental hierarchy, moving from low resource requirements to high resource demands. The first requirement for moving down this continuum is shared planning time. As the models become more integrated, the hours needed to synchronize lessons increase. The second variable is equality of content knowledge. In secondary schools, where subjects are highly specialized, a gap in subject mastery often prevents teams from moving into more advanced models. Finally, there is interpersonal trust. Advanced models require a level of professional respect that is typically built through consistency over several school years. Evaluating your team against these 3 variables allows you to select a model that fits your actual resources, rather than an idealized plan. Lead and support serves as the baseline model. It has the lowest requirements for shared preparation and built-in trust. One teacher plans the primary lesson content, while the other focuses specifically on individual behavioral or learning accommodations for students. While this requires less coordination, it can lead students to view the supporting teacher as an assistant rather than an authority figure in the room. In station teaching, educators divide instruction into segments and separate the room into rotating groups. This lowers the student-to-teacher ratio and keeps both educators professionally engaged in delivering content. Teams using stations must manage a higher noise level and ensure that any independent station is simple enough for students to complete without teacher intervention. These foundational models are highly effective for new teams or those where one teacher is still learning the specific subject matter. Parallel teaching involves both teachers delivering the same instruction simultaneously to 2 separate halves of the class. This significantly increases direct interaction with students, making it easier for teachers to monitor individual progress. This requires identical pacing. If one group finishes 10 minutes early, the classroom flow is disrupted, and the noise level makes it difficult for the other group to focus. Alternative teaching occurs when one teacher pulls a small group for targeted pre-teaching or enrichment, while the other teacher manages the large group. To execute this, both teachers need enough subject mastery to explain concepts independently and enough joint planning time to coordinate which students need specific intervention. This model carries a risk of stigmatization if the small group consists only of students with special needs every time the teachers use it. Intermediate models offer targeted instruction, but rely on dedicated joint planning blocks to keep the 2 groups synchronized. Team teaching is the apex of the hierarchy, demanding peak levels of planning time, subject expertise, and trust. Ideally, both educators share instruction dynamically, blending their styles so that they appear as equal status partners to the students. Achieving this level of coordination usually requires 2 to 3 years of working together, alongside a shared philosophy of inclusion. If the secondary teacher lacks subject mastery, instructional flow breaks down during student questioning, leading to confusion and a loss of teacher credibility. Veteran teaching pairs who have spent years aligning their methods are best positioned to utilize this apex model effectively. We can map these on a chart: shared prep and trust on the x-axis, equality of content knowledge on the y-axis. Lead and support and station teaching sit in the bottom left, requiring lower prep time and specialized knowledge. Parallel and alternative teaching move toward the bottom right and upper left, requiring more prep or higher subject mastery. Team teaching occupies the top right quadrant, representing the maximum requirement for all variables. Selecting a model is relative. Your administrative inputs and resource constraints dictate your viable options. For beginners or secondary teams where one teacher is new to the content, foundational models provide the most stability. These models protect the classroom workflow while you spend the first year building a professional relationship. Developing teams with scheduled joint planning time should look toward intermediate models to increase instructional intensity. Full team teaching is a final destination for highly aligned veteran pairs who have completely mastered the subject together. Success depends on matching a co-teaching model to the specific time, knowledge, and trust your team has right now.